Welcome back, folks. We are back with Rasputin's Reliquary build, part 4, and we're going to start with the giant pickle jar behind me there. While I wish I could tell you that these two jars here have been sitting completely untouched for a week, I have been shaking them off and on. Not so much this one on the right, but the one on the left, just to make sure that everything was kosher with it over the course of the week. So this one is really doing exactly as I expected it to do. Basically, all the mica powder likes to go down and settle, and basically everything up to here is kind of like a slight green tint, but it's clear. There is not a lot of force required to kind of shift up the mica powder. Just a quick, shake, and look at that. We got shimmers all over again. This guy, however, I am pleasantly surprised. So I know I've already shaken this up today, but there's been no color change at all. Even after I had it set for a week untouched, there has been no like discoloration, no oil slick at the bottom, no separation. So once the food coloring is in, it's in. So there's no need to edit it or anything like that, which is good because I'm a seer and believer kind of person instead of reading it online. Because after all, once I get this reservoir sealed off, there is absolutely no way I'm going to be able to fix anything once it goes in. So I need to stress that also, just because I got this stuff bottled up in jars does not mean it is my final mixture. The things I need to add to it yet are going to be just a lot of glycerin and a little daub of alcohol. Just to kind of give you an example, we got the glycerin right here. It's still in its container. As you can see at the top there, it sloshes a little bit slower instead of like water that's already just so fluid. So it's going to be a good thickener. People have recommended baby oil to kind of do the same stuff. I haven't used baby oil. This is what I've used in one other project myself, and that's literally the limitation of my experience. And you know what? I had already bought this by the time I got the baby oil recommendation, so we're going to go ahead and ride with vegetable glycerin. And if you are anything like me, the thought may occur to you, why don't I just use the previous liquid that was in the original snow globe? Well, this stuff is actually quite hazardous. It's toxic, it's explosive, it's a lot of stuff, which I'm actually surprised is in a snow globe. So yeah, it'll stay clear and shimmery for a long time. It just got glitter flakes in there, so don't be fooled. But it's not the mixture that I want. My concern is if I use that and kind of put it in here. So to recap of what I'm going to do, silicone is going to go in there with that waterproof Flex Seal there. It's going to go on the ring. I'm concerned this caustic mixture of goopiness is going to go ahead and just eat through that silicone, and it's going to cause the reservoir to leak, and I got to avoid that at all cost. So a commentary on this motor before I go any further is my concerns with it. So this is pretty much the exact layout that it came in from the snow globe. I just peeled the overall figurine off the top of it. I'm worried the mica powder might get in between the fan blades and gum it up, but I'm hoping this overall top thing is going to act as like a little umbrella and kind of shield it from the mica powder rain. Whether or not that is going to be successful or not, I have absolutely no idea. And unfortunately, there's no way I can test that thoroughly without, putting it together. The first thing we need to do is a little bit of prep work, mostly with this disc right here. The 3D prints, if you're not familiar, they can actually come out quite smooth, and while lovely in their own features, I need to roughen them up a little bit. This is going to be the cap for this one, so while this seal is not nearly as important as the bottom one's going to be, it still needs to be airtight so nothing evaporates. So all I'm going to do is go ahead and take the sandpaper, rough up basically this edge, the inside edge, and stuff like that, so the silicone has something to attach to. While that might not be necessary, that's just what my head is telling me to do, and it's going to give me a little bit more peace of mind. So I'm going to go ahead and rough up these edges here quick, and there's no like art to it. Just shake, and that's pretty much all I'm going to really be doing. So doing just another quick safety PSA about this project. So as you can see here, we do have like the 3D printed resin dust. You don't want to inhale this. You'll be coughing for a hot minute, and it just inherently is not going to be good for you. Please wear masks, like craft responsibly, take care of yourself, because in the end of the day, your body is your ultimate project. Don't ruin it. Here you can see all the little scratches and stuff like that. That's essentially all that I want. Seem to need to clean up a little bit of the edges down here still yet, kind of get all that dust off of there. But case in point, we're pretty much done preparing this part. Next, we got to move on to the reservoir, which requires me to wear gloves. And we have a bright light warning coming up here in a second, but mostly I'm going to show you how I kind of look for smudges and stuff like that. I keep it simple. I hold it up to the light and see how we got those weird marks and stuff like that. We need to clean those off. So I need to make sure that there's no dust or anything like that inside of this reservoir before it's fully sealed up, because again, once it's closed, we can't open it again. Oh, the issue that I'm currently having now with this stupid microfiber cloth is that it's leaving like dust tendrils on the inside of it, even though it's freaking clean. So I'm grabbing an old cotton t-shirt. I'm gonna just go ahead and hit it with some glass cleaner and we'll see how it turns out. All right, folks, we're just diving in. We're doing basically the sealant right here. I've cleaned up the little 3D print here. I got no gloves on right now, but mostly it's because I need a little bit more precision. I gotta get all this silicone right into this crack here. And I can only do that with basically free hands, even though I know that's a lie. So here's kind of the final look of the top layer anyway. We need to go ahead and close all those gaps out and make sure every part of this resin has basically got some silicone on top of it to make it truly watertight. And there's no way quite to do this except just to frickin' smear it on. That's why I call it the gooping method. And saving you the hassle of watching it full hand, we are completed. With dirty hands now, I have to slowly make sure that I get this right on the top. Oh, squish. Which is fine that we have a little dropping out of the side there. That's okay, because now we're going to go ahead and take the same stick and kind of just smear it along the edge on this outside. Just kind of make sure that all of these edges are kind of got some level of goop on top of them. I don't need to worry too much about this area getting on the glass, mostly because that's what I want, and that the 3D print itself is going to hide a lot of this top portion because it's in the area with that decorative top. And just like that, a little goop, and we are completed. So this is going to sit here like this for the next couple days. We're not going to do the top motor today. That'll be another day because I want the bottom to properly dry before I decide to fuck anything else up.
As I was sitting here, looking into the void of my skull, I realized something. Upon cross-referencing the still here, I realized it has gemstones. Yes, 2 different colored gemstones that I'm going to need to add to this fucking thing.
The only thing I'm happy about is that I realized this before I printed out a new body for it, so this is not the worst thing in the world. But stay tuned for part 5.